thermometer has now reached 85 degrees. I'm going to switch off the stove and I'm going to let it sit now for 45 minutes. About 45 minutes, it will sort of bounce up a little bit. It'll get to 45 degrees. My milk is now at about 45 degrees, so I'm going to pour it into a glass bowl. I'm just going to strain it because I don't like that skin, because it can actually make the yogurt a bit lumpy. So I strain it through a sieve, and then I'm going to add about 1/3 of a cup of yogurt. Now this is yogurt I've made before. If you use commercial yogurt, you'll find the first one is quite sort of runny like this one, even after you've strained it, and it can sometimes go a bit sort of gloopy. But don't worry, because your second time around, your yogurt will be just perfect. I'm going to mix all of that yogurt in, and I'm going to whisk that through. And then I'm going to cover this with some cling film and 2 cloths that I'm going to drape over it. I'm going to set my oven to 180 degrees for 2 minutes. I'm going to heat the oven up for 2 minutes at 180 degrees, and then I'm going to switch it off and just put the oven light on. And I'm going to put this inside there and leave it there for about 6 to 8 hours. It'll go quite solid, and then you can pour it into the muslin. Right, so now it's been 5 hours. You can see the yogurt has now set, so it's quite sort of solid. When it moves, there's a little bit of whey on the top there, and I'm going to pour this into the cloth and let it strain. Got a cloth, this is the same cloth, and I'm going to drape that into a colander, and then I'm going to pour the yogurt in. I'm just going to tip it into the bowl, and you can see the yogurt's just in there all nicely set, and I'm going to let that sit, and it'll take about 4 or 5 hours, sometimes a bit longer, and then the whey will drain, and then you can whip it up. This is the yogurt that I made earlier. So I've poured all of the yogurt once it's set it's been in the warm oven. Then I pour it into this. It's a colander, and I've laid a piece of muslin or cheesecloth into the colander, and I put that over a tub, a tray, and the whey will drain out. I've actually just poured that whey out to keep it draining, but that whey can then be put into a bottle in the fridge and get used in smoothies. So I start out with 2 kilograms of yogurt from 2 liters of milk, and I will go until this weighs about 1 kilogram, and then I'll show you how I scrape that out and whisk it and put it back into a tub. I'm just going to lift it up by the corners like this, and I'm going to pop it into the bowl and just let it loose so that I can weigh it. Okay, so when I weigh it, it's just over 1 kilogram, so that's perfect. I'm going to scrape it out now, and then I'm going to whisk it. What I'm going to do to scrape it out, I'm just going to lift this cloth, and the yogurt is going to be sort of sitting inside it. I'm going to drop it into the bowl and just scrape the yogurt off the cloth. Any sort of yogurt that's stuck to the cloth, I'm going to scrape into the bowl with this spatula, and that I can then rinse this cloth, give it a wash, and use it again. We'll still have some yogurt stuck on there. That's fine, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's why you're measuring out sort of just over 1 kilo. So that cloth is going to get washed. Right, so now I've got the yogurt, it's all in the bowl, but it's quite sort of lumpy, and the consistency is not even throughout the yogurt. So now you need to whisk it to get a nice smooth yogurt. You can use a hand whisk, and you can do it by hand obviously until it comes smooth, but I like to just use my Kenwood whisk, and so I'm going to switch this on and just whisk this yogurt. So now it's much more smooth. It's hard for you to see. It's going to seem like it's quite runny, but when it goes in the fridge it gets quite thick, so it's perfect Greek yogurt once it comes out the fridge. Something else to bear in mind is that you might find after a few iterations, after you've made the yogurt a few times, you might find your yogurt starts to get quite yeasty and sour, like very sour. It will get more and more sour as you get more bacteria into it, but it can sometimes get a bit yeasty. So you're obviously leaving it outside when it strains, and even in the oven, it's exposed to whatever bacteria and yeasts are in your kitchen. I particularly found when I had a sourdough starter in the fridge at the same time, I would end up with my yogurt tasting very bready, and I found I actually couldn't make them both at the same time. I couldn't have sourdough starter and yogurt in the fridge at the same time. So what you might find is, like I say, after 5 or 6 times of making it, your yogurt starts to taste a bit yeasty and not as yogurty. When that happens, I would recommend you just buy yourself a small tub of commercial yogurt again. Just the double cream actually works really nicely, the little tub of double cream from Woolies, but you can even use the low fat. I've never tried it with making it with the Woolies fat-free yogurt. I don't like that yogurt, but I have used the low fat yogurt and I've used the double cream yogurt, and you just use that as your new inoculum into the yogurt, and it starts out again and you get this nice sweet yogurt again. So I do find every now and again I have to go and buy commercial yogurt again and almost start from scratch, but it's fine. That'll go for 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10, 12 iterations, and then I have to start again. So, but you're getting all the bacteria and yeast from your kitchen, so it depends what you've got. I just reuse my Woolies tubs and pour the yogurt in there, and there's my yogurt ready. So like I say, it's a bit runny now. Obviously if you go quite a lot lower, if you find you've overstrained it, that's fine. You know, if you get to weighing it and you suddenly find it's 800 grams or 700 grams because you left it for too long, that's fine. Just pour a bit of the whey back in and whisk that in as well. That gives you a perfect yogurt. And there I have a tub of yogurt, so I'm going to put that in the fridge. And when I take it out, it's probably going to be quite thick and Greek yogurt-like.